Hello everyone, welcome to another online tutorial with JenieConcept where we'll be learning how to make this turban cap which has this ruffle like rules on it. In this tutorial, we are learning how to make a gathered or pleated turban cap with a round band as well as a ruffles design which is attached on it. Now I'll be making use of my raw silk fabric for my turban base, of which you can make use of any other fabric of your choice. And we'll also be needing the fabric for the ruffles design. Now I have my fabrics already cut out, and then right here I have the fabric for my band. What I have here is 22 inches for the head circumference by 4.5 inches for the width. This is for the band of the cap. Now 22 inches might be a little too big because the rustic fabric is very stretchy. So if at the end of the day it's too big, I'll have to decrease it to either 21 inches or 21.5 inches. Now the fabric for my base, I have 18 inches by 26 inches. So 26 inches is going to be for the head circumference, while 18 inches is for the width. That is because I want the turban cap to have a little backdrop effect at the back. And then finally, I have the fabric for the ruffles design. To create that effect, you need this particular fabric. This is an already made ruffles fabric. It is sold this way in the market, and the measurement we are going to be needing is 25 inches. So we need 25 inches from this end to this end is 25 inches. Like I said earlier, it is already made. I got it this way. So you can ask around shops where tailoring materials are sold for this particular fabric. Okay, so 25 inches for the length, and that is it for the ruffles fabric. Now coming over to the turban base, because it's going to be pleated and gathered, you need to mark the fabric, and I already did that. So to get this, we need a measuring tape as well as a marker or chalk. I had to use pen to mark it so that it will be visible because I had only white chalk, and when I used my white chalk it was not really visible. But then I don't recommend you using pen for your clients when you have to mark their fabrics. Even though it's going to be at the wrong side of the fabric, it does not clean off easily, unlike when you use your tailor's chalk. So that is that. So I'll get my measuring tape, and then you have to decide what measurement you want to use for each interval. As for me, I'm using 1.5 inches. So I go ahead and then measure 1.5 inches, mark it. Measure 1.5 inches, mark it. Then later get my ruler to mark it down to the end. But then this particular ruler is about 1.5 inches. So all I just have to do is place it on my fabric without using my tape rule to measure it. I place and rule, place and rule in that order until I get to the end of the fabric. So that's how I was able to get this. Next thing I'll be doing is that I'll take this down to my sewing machine, fold each pleated end, and then stitch it down from one end to the other. As soon as that is done, I'll repeat the same thing for the next line. Fold it into two, place on my sewing machine, stitch down to the end, fold into two, place down on my sewing machine, stitch down to the end, in that order until I get to the end of this fabric. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll go off camera to stitch, and after stitching I'll get back for us to continue. At this point I have my fabric here, and this is my turban cap. I've pleated and I've sewn it down. This is the wrong side and this is the fine side. So as soon as this is done, I'll get my fabric, fold it into two equal halves, and then make a notch at the middle of the fabric so that I'll be able to locate the midpoint easily. And this is it right here. So I'll get the fabric for the band. I'll also fold it into two equal halves and then make a notch at the middle of both sides of the fabric. As soon as this is done, I'll fold the fabric for my band into two equal halves with the wrong side inside and the fine side outside. Then I'll get the fabric for my base, and then I'm going to place the fabric on my base, the fabric for my band on my base, while ensuring that the midpoint of both the band and the base aligns together. Then I'll place this on my sewing machine and stitch it down from one end down to the other end of the fabric, and I'll get back for us to continue. So this is it. I've been able to add my band down to my base. This is how it looks like after sewing. So I'll flip this over to the fine side. I'll fold my fabric into two equal halves so as to enable me locate the middle of the fabric, and then I'll go ahead to mark out my fabric just like I have done. So I'll get my needle and thread, and we're going to create gathers at the middle of the fabric. Okay, so I'll start by passing it from the wrong side of the cap, that is the point after the band. As soon as it's out, I'll pleat my fabric. Each pleat, I'll just pick it, fold it into two, and pass my needle and thread through it. So this is it. The first one, fold into two, pass my thread through it at the middle of the fabric where I marked. The same thing is applicable to the second pleat. Pick it, fold into two, pass your needle and thread through it. So this is what I'll continue doing until I get to this second to the last pleat. I will stop at this second to the last pleat. Then I'll secure my thread and cut off the excess thread. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be doing these gathers for this last pleat here. I'm ending here. At this point, I'm done securing my stitch, and then that is it for this point. So I'll just get to fold my fabric into two equal halves this way, and then I'll place it on my sewing machine to stitch it through. So I will stitch it from this point down, go over to this edge, and then stitch it down to this edge, and from here to this end here. So that's what I'll be doing now. So I'll start by stitching the band, taking it this way, coming down like this, and then finally to this end here. Right here, I have my fabric already sewn from here this way, down here, and down to this very end. If you have access to a weaving machine, please weave the ends of your fabric, and then we'll be making our running stitch next, and our running stitch is going to be from this end down to this edge. So I'll get my needle and thread, ensure it is doubled and knotted at the end, and just start passing it in and out until we get to the edge where you cut off your fabric. So as soon as that is done, my turban cap, the turban base is ready. So this is how the gathered or pleated turban cap looks like, and then I'll set this aside while we go ahead to work on the design which will be attached on it. Now for the ruffles design, I have my ruffles fabric. Remember I said the length is 25 inches, and this was how I got it in the market from stores that sells tailoring materials or tailoring accessories. So what I'll do is I'll fold my fabric into two equal halves and then stitch this down. As soon as I'm done sewing it, I have it this way. So I'll flip it over to the fine side. Then I'll get my needle and thread, and we're going to be making a running stitch at the tip of the fabric to gather it at the middle. So this is it. I'll start from this end. Okay, start from this end and make my running stitch around the fabric until I get to this part where I started from. So as soon as that's gotten to where I started from, I'm going to pull it tightly, and you see that it will open up this way. So this is it. I'll pull it tightly and then secure my thread and then get back for us to continue. As soon as I'm done securing it, this is the back view and this is the front view. So this is how it looks like. So that means I have my ruffles design, then I'll get my turban cap. I'll first place this on my dummy head. First, place my turban cap on my dummy head, then place my ruffles design on it, and then search for the appropriate position for it. I'll fit it to get the correct placement for it. Then I'll use my needle and thread to tack it down to my turban cap. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I'll get any flower accessory of my choice, and then I'll go ahead to apply my glue at the back of the said flower accessory, and then glue it down at the middle of this ruffles design to join it together. And that is it. That is how to go about creating this design. So I'm going to go off camera to finish up, and as soon as I'm done, I'll get back to show us the final outlook. At this point, I'm just trying to glue down my flower accessory to the middle of the cap. You can use any accessory of your choice, but then allow your gum to dry a bit before placing it on your cap. And this is how it looks like. Isn't this beautiful? This brings us to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Our handle is JenieConcept on these platforms. Thank you so much for watching. Please do well to practice and kindly send us feedback. Bye.